All right, well, prosecutors are asking for more time before the case against Edgar Lara, the man accused of shooting and killing LaFleur County Deputy Walker Lemay, advances in the court.
Lara is also accused of injuring Wister Police Chief Andy Thompson. He went briefly before a judge on Wednesday. This is video of him in his orange jumpsuit and handcuffs as he's taken into the courtroom. His defense and prosecutors asked for more time and for a preliminary conference to be rescheduled. The state prosecutors tell 5 News they're still waiting on reports from OSBI back in April. The state charged Lara with first-degree murder and other counts, including shooting with intent to kill. His next court date is set for August 20th.
Straight north. From y'all's vehicles.
This morning, we're also getting a look at new dash camera video from the day of that shooting. It shows law enforcement rushing to a home near Wister on April 19th. Investigators say officers were called to a property after Edgar Lara's father requested his son be removed from the home. Investigators say what began as a welfare call turned into an hours-long standoff. Prosecutors say Lara opened fire on responding officers before eventually surrendering.
In other news this morning, the Fort Smith fire chief gave an annual report on the department, saying the biggest challenge they faced last year was budget cuts. Daryl Clark spoke at the board directors meeting this week. The city made cuts to both the fire and police departments. They say to help offset the $4 million budget deficit. Chief Clark says 7 total positions were eliminated, and pumper 11 at the station off Mazard Road near Chaffee Crossing was put out of commission.
The only way to achieve the desired level of reductions was to reduce personnel. The priorities I used to guide me while I developed personnel reduction options were to prevent any negative impact on the citizens, keep all current employees without any reductions of pay or benefits, keep all fire stations open, and minimize the loss of points in future ISO audits.
Now, Chief Clark says that 3 captains at Station 11 were moved over to a heavy rescue unit. He says that led to every fire company in the city now having a captain, a driver, and a firefighter.
Fort Smith Police Chief Danny Baker also gave an annual report. He says it was a successful year, with crime in the city trending down even more than the national average. Group A crimes were down 11% from the year before, not including homicides. Baker credited that drop to the department's balance of law enforcement and community partnerships. He says the biggest challenge remains officer retention. The department hired 16 officers last year, but lost 26.
Well, we waited patiently through all the construction, and now the Oz Trails Bike Park in Bella Vista will officially open tomorrow.
5 News reporter Claire Everbach is there now. Claire, tell us how it's looking.
Well, Laura and Joe, it's a beautiful morning here in Bella Vista. Hopefully that good weather is going to extend for tomorrow morning for the official grand opening of the bike park. We've got this bike lift behind me that you can kind of start to see now that the sun is up. It's the first of its kind in Arkansas. This entire park has been in the works for decades. It's going to offer nearly 20 miles of brand new biking trails. But if you're not a biker, you can also use those trails for hiking. It offers something for people of all ages. The bike lift is going to carry both riders and their bikes. The park also features a bike rental shop, a restaurant, and a kids zone, making it a destination for more than just advanced bikers. Park leaders say the overall goal is to create a space that can be enjoyed by people of all ages and riders of all skill levels.
The lift actually is something that brings the trails to everybody. You know, if you're a small child or even an older adult who just wants to ride downhill on a beginner trail, it's just really fun. We're seeing people who may not have ridden in a while come out and just enjoy that fun gravity going downhill.
The grand opening ceremony will be Friday morning at 10 a.m. There's going to be people from across the state who are coming in, bikers coming in this weekend for the Bentonville Bike Fest that is also happening. They're going to offer $10 passes if you want to ride the lift up and down. That's going to be open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day. The park will also be offering half-day passes, day passes, and monthly memberships. Live in Bella Vista, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
All right, thanks, Claire. It is 6:08 this morning. Now, the first match of the World Cup officially kicks off today in Mexico City.
And here in the U.S., security preparations are underway for the tournament. The FAA is cracking down on drone use in host cities during the big games. The administration says fines will be as high as $100,000 plus jail time if a drone enters restricted airspace. U.S. law enforcement says it's treating the Men's World Cup as, quote, 78 Super Bowls over 39 days. The Department of Homeland Security is using drones equipped with nets to prevent injuries if unaccepted objects are seen instead of shooting them down.
You're not creating debris. You're not using explosives. You're not adding to the problem. It doesn't endanger the population under it.
Drones from that same company, Fordham Technologies, patrolled the airspace during the World Cup in Qatar. The CEO says thousands of recreational drones were in the skies during the event in 2022.
Well, the U.S. ceasefire with Iran is on shaky ground after both nations traded another round of airstrikes overnight.
President Trump said the U.S. would hit hard after accusing Iran of stalling peace talks. Jared Hill has more.
Overnight, the U.S. striking back on Iran again, what the Trump administration calls self-defense, targeting Iranian surveillance, communications, and air defense systems.
If we need to negotiate with bombs, we'll negotiate with bombs, and we're very good at it.
The latest round days after Iran shot down a U.S. Apache helicopter and following President Trump's Wednesday warning that Tehran would pay a price for taking too long to negotiate a peace deal.
We're going to be attacking them and attacking them very hard. We were really close to a deal, but they keep tapping us along. They keep playing us for suckers.
Iranian state TV said its forces responded by targeting American military sites in nearby Gulf states, as Bahrain and Kuwait reported incoming missiles. Iran also declared the Strait of Hormuz closed, which the Pentagon denies. The flaring tensions and the ongoing U.S. military blockade of the strait continue to take a toll on the U.S. economy. Stocks slid on Wall Street Wednesday as inflation hit a 3-year high, up 4.2% over last year amid surging energy prices, sparked by the war.
I love the inflation.
President Trump insisted prices could have been higher if not for a secret mission to move oil through the strait.
We've been taking out millions of barrels of oil.
Still, some lawmakers were left puzzled.
Well, it's pretty bizarre.
The president insists inflation will fall whenever the war ends. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Well, this morning, officials in India confirmed that a U.S. military strike on an oil tanker Tuesday killed 3 Indian mariners. The U.S. saying that the ship was fired on after it attempted to violate the American military blockade.